morning on the 2nd of November.
Choo choo.
Oh, and we just got a hype train started. That's why Carla Marie did that weird thing there.
Almost sneezed at the same time, so all the things just happened.
I saw a gifted sub come in from Lisa from JC Detail. Who else am I seeing? Jenny and Susie Q, both subscribed at tier 1 or with Prime. Thank you very much for all of that. We are already in hype train level 3, so we will get through that. Did you bring drinks today?
I did.
What do we got?
Honey whiskey.
Ooh,
Dubliner honey whiskey. I also just subscribed using Amazon Prime from my account.
Okay.
I took a screenshot of what it looks like so we can help people out.
We do have to make that video again.
Well, it was interesting. It was like a little checkbox at the bottom, like tiny little thing, because they're trying to be sneaky. But
we will recreate next week. We're recreating that video.
It's my 11th month anniversary. I'm gonna share that.
How come it didn't say that you're subscribed to our channel?
I don't know, but it did tell me that I created my account on October 11th, 2018.
Oh wow,
which is pretty wild. That was 3 years ago.
And when you created that account in 2018, Carla Marie, did you think you would be doing a seminar on Twitch today?
No, I didn't.
You should mention that when you do your seminar.
Maybe.
That today is your 11-month anniversary for your own channel.
It's not today. Oh, 11th month anniversary for my own channel.
Yeah. I just saw the Carla Marie subscribed with Prime. They've subscribed for 11 months, currently on a 1-month streak. What did you do last month,
I think because I have been logged into our account, not mine.
Also, Mason's mom, thank you very much for your subscription with Prime. For anyone who does not know how to subscribe with Prime, if you're watching this now, if you're watching this on YouTube, I promise you, next week, we will have a redone video because we do have one on our YouTube channel right now.
Yeah.
It's just Amazon changed a couple very small details that make the video harder to follow with their new layout. So we will redo that video. Then I think now that we've done it, we can do it a lot faster because it took like 2 weeks to get that thing done.
So long. It was so torturous.
Also, once this hype train is done, we're at level 4 right now. I am going to talk about how sometimes doing a nice thing for someone can also mean doing something annoying or problematic for another person. Because this happened to me yesterday.
Okay.
And I want to know, I won't say too much because I don't want to get into too much about it before we do the hype train. What do you got, Carla Marie?
I actually have a few things, and sorry, I'm just getting a link right now. I have a message that I want to read, and I'll do that first.
Okay.
So yesterday I did get a bunch of questions about how our pants fit in the You Look Great store.
Oh, I thought I meant just in general.
And I posted a video of it, and someone DM'd me and was like, oh my God, thank God you did this, because I was unsure for the height reason as well, and now I'm getting them.
The height of the okay, like the length.
Yeah, because us short people, it's very dangerous walking around the house with long pants. And it was from Corinne, and she's like, I'm actually a YouTube watcher currently, because I guess, or at the moment, because sometimes she watches on Twitch Live or wants to watch live on Twitch. And I had a question for her. I said, do you normally like sit down and watch on YouTube? Because I'm very curious how the YouTube world watches, or do you watch just like as a podcast? And she said both. Usually when I'm cooking and prepping dinner, I pull it up on my iPad and watch. I also will put a video podcast on if I need help falling asleep. So if I've already watched your show, I'll just throw it up on my iPad and watch or listen until I fall asleep. I prefer video podcasts because if there's something funny that you or Anthony do, I drop everything and fully watch or rewind and watch.
Okay.
So I thought that was very interesting. She said, I rewatched the merch reveal this morning while getting ready. Could you imagine only listening when the birthday song comes on and not watching you both dance? I always dance along.
You mean like this?
That's for you, Corinne. I don't know when your birthday is, but I just responded.
What, Carla Marie?
It's already snowing in Northeast Ohio.
That is, it's only November 2nd. That's insane.
Yeah.
I do hope we get a good snow season. Also, I think it was Andre mentioned that today is the day to vote.
It is.
If you have not voted, if you're in Seattle, normally we do, we have mail-in votes, but we can still drop them off at the ballot boxes today. Don't put them in the mail today if you're in Washington. Yeah. You do have to drive it to a ballot box, I believe.
Yes.
So make sure you do that. I saw there was a lot of the early polling numbers in Seattle, and this isn't going to get this isn't about a politician or a
because
I'm
not even going to know what's going on.
there was some crazy stat like people 70 and above have voted 3 times more this election than
interesting.
people 70 and below.
Because they realize that they're going to live much longer than they thought?
No, I think it's because when things aren't as socially prevalent, like on social media, as the main election, the presidential election, I think younger people forget.
Yeah, it's true.
And I think older people understand how much more important local elections are than national elections. Josh Mindy, thank you for gifting that tier 1 sub. I know we were running out of time on that level 4 hype train, so I think we are finally in level 5.
It's me, Meech. It just said it's not snowing on my side of town. Cleveland's weird. Fun fact about Meech, she can go into labor at any moment.
Oh, wow.
So,
don't do it now.
No, do it now. How cool would that be? We don't know if anyone's ever gone into labor during our show.
No, we do. Oh, wait, go into labor? We know people were in labor
while
watching us.
What if our show sends her into labor?
It could. Let's see. Just voted, says Mark. Thank you very much.
I can't wait till we can digitally vote, although it will be very easy to hack that.
Yeah, I'm okay. I think I'm okay with going to a balloting station.
Imagine you could bowl and vote. That would be cool. Bowl and vote. It's going to be our new business.
Let's see. Vanessa with 1S says, I went into labor and gave birth in my bathtub while Elvis Duran in the morning show was playing.
He's now 4.
That's crazy.
What?
Dana on Long Island just voted this morning. Thank you very much for doing that. And let's see.
Hey, Jessica. Thank you.
Jessica in the CLE. I am loving seeing all of the names and locations on Twitch.
Do you know what the CLE is?
Cleveland.
Just,
Come on.
Sure.
Get out of here.
Uh,
Let's see.
Zadie, thank you. I know Zadie put in an order yesterday, also in the You Look Great store. Okay, so Tiger King 2. Are we going to watch it? November
Absolutely.
17th. I have a hard time with this one.
Why?
Because I don't want to support that guy.
You're not.
No, because he's in it, and it's just helping him, and he's in prison, like, thinking he's so cool and stuff.
Yeah, whatever. Let him think whatever he wants in prison. He's in prison.
I saw a headline.
Well, I don't care what anyone does when they're in prison. You're in prison.
I saw a headline that Carol Baskin is suing Netflix for the second one. I think she's in it, so I kind of want to watch it for that reason to find out.
Well, I think we finally realized Carol Baskin's also not an angel.
Well,
I think that's what's going to be
possibly
happening.
Killed her husband.
Yeah.
What is the song? Carol Baskin.
How
did it go?
Killed her husband, stabbed him. No, I don't know. I can't remember.
I think it is. How does it go? Oh, never saw Tiger King 1. I thought that was the one thing that everyone had in common last year.
I thought it was too. I'm in Oklahoma and I still haven't seen the first season. Is that the one you just read?
What? Oh, never saw Tiger King.
Okay. Yeah, I feel like Tiger King is one of those things you just have to watch because it is insane.
What are the lyrics?
Let's see. Can we vote on whether or not we think Carol killed her husband? Whacked him. That's it. Not stabbed him. Killed her husband. Whacked him.
Man, I hope that comes back because I had that in my head all the time.
Wow, Julie also hasn't watched it. Kayla didn't watch it. A lot of people have never seen Tiger King.
Kelsey,
the podcast is apparently better for Tiger King.
I believe you, but then you don't get to see what these characters look like.
Yeah. Wow, a lot of people in here not liking Tiger King or never watched it.
No, see, this is how rumors start.
No, hold on. There was turned it off in 20 minutes. After 20 minutes,
I know,
Jory
but I'm
Matthews.
saying I didn't watch it. Okay, wait. Brian from Post Falls, what up?
What did you say? You told me to wait. What am I waiting for?
Oh, I was trying to find the lyrics.
What? We just went through the lyrics.
No, because apparently you were right with stabbed him. Oh, this is a different Carol Baskin
Oh my
song.
God, Carla Marie.
There's 2 Carol Baskin songs. I can't.
He did run for president. I think people often overlook the fact that Joe Exotic ran for president. The same time that Donald Trump ran for president.
No.
Wasn't it 2016? It wasn't that long ago.
Man, what a year.
Thank you to Jen and Lisa, each gifting 100 bits. I know we got 30 seconds left of this hype train. We'll see if we get it. We'll take the drink if we do. And then I want to get into my my story.
Okay.
Also, it is kind of crazy. That was when the lockdown started because of the pandemic. And Tiger King came out. It was like the perfect timing for Tiger King to take off. And, oh, did we just get it? No.
Everyone was kind of like, all right, we'll just watch this thing, then we'll go back to work.
And then go back to work, yeah. Tamara said he did run in 2016.
Damn.
Hype train is over. Did we get there? Oh, no. Hype train level 4. So no shot today, Carla Marie.
Okay.
All that for no shot. And that's okay. Because I also think...
It's probably good because I have to do this presentation.
Well, you have your presentation, which you need to tell people how they can watch and stuff.
I will.
Secondly, I do know a lot of people are also supporting us with the merch store.
Yeah.
So I am totally cool with not hitting hype train level 5 while the merch store is open.
Same.
I mean, it's been pretty crazy. I know our distributor/printer has been over the moon.
I haven't checked
so far.
We'll have an update later on in the show.
And we do have to do another check to make sure that things aren't selling out like they did yesterday. Yeah, that we still have supply for a lot of things.
He usually gives me a heads up.
All right. What else do we have here?
All right, your story. Go.
Oh, so there are times where even though you know you're about to do something nice, you sometimes sense that someone else might not appreciate your efforts as much.
Okay.
And that happened to me yesterday. So yesterday I went to Habit Burger here in Seattle.
Yes.
Not too far from where Carla Marie and I live. And I walked up, and as I was ordering, there was a homeless guy who was sitting in the booth, like right next to the register. It was basically like sitting in the register. He was like, hey, man, I got a couple bucks. Do you think I could give you the money, and then you can like pay for the rest of a burger? Oh. I was like, oh, man, okay. I was like, just keep your money. It's fine. I'll just buy you an extra burger when I check out. He's like, okay. And as I said that, I looked over and I could tell that the 3 employees who were behind the counter, they weren't mad.
Well, right.
But you could tell that they were a little annoyed. And I realized in that moment, because I think we do forget that, yes, there are people in a crisis who are homeless oftentimes.
Yeah.
But that doesn't mean that they don't oftentimes cause issues or danger for retail and hospitality workers.
He was already there.
He was there. And I realized after I walked away a little bit, because like when I first walked in, I got to the register and he was basically like under my shoulder. So I couldn't really, and there was a sign there, so I couldn't really like get the full scope. And then I went to go fill up my drink after I ordered, and he had his shoes off. He had a bunch of shit under the table, and it seemed like he was there for a really long time. And for a business, that's not necessarily the best thing in the world. And I'm really not trying to make fun of the guy. He also did not smell great, but he was homeless. So like, I get it. And in that moment, I was like, oh man, I kind of feel bad for the workers that I like contributed to keeping this guy there. But at the same time, he also, I don't know when the last time that guy ate was.
Right.
So I felt okay for buying the sandwich. And I'm not saying this to make myself sound like a saint. There have been tons of times where I didn't do anything for homeless people. But man, it was just like, it was this weird space. And I realized, excuse me, by the end of it, that the woman who was giving me my bag to leave.
What'd she say?
She actually put the third burger, because I ordered 2 for myself, in a separate bag. And she was like, here's the separate burger that you ordered. I was like, okay. So she's at least on board with it a little bit. It was just a weird place. And I don't know what.
I'm glad that you bought that man a burger.
Yeah, and I'm not saying it because I'm like some sort of saint. I'm sure that it didn't even move the meter in the asshole chart for me. But it was nice of her to do that.
Yeah, I get it.
But I still felt kind of bad.
I like, that is the one thing about like retail and stores like that now, where I'm like, I don't know how these people deal with that, because
it's tough.
You have to like, not only do you have to kick the person out because you have to, like, they're loitering, right? You're not supposed to do that, but that sucks to have to do that. And it's
Well,
just
it
like,
oftentimes puts the retail employee or the hospitality employee in a really rough, uncomfortable, and sometimes dangerous spot. And Seattle does have a problem with things like that. I know when I was at Best Buy on, when did I go to Best Buy? Sunday? Yeah, I went on Sunday to return some stuff. As I walked in, apparently, literally the moment I walked in, someone walked out with an iPad mini and robbed the place. And I only found that out because there was an alarm going off in the corner when I walked towards the iPad section. And one of the employees was telling someone like, oh yeah, the guy, I just saw him. He ripped it out of he ripped like the wire out and the cable and just walked out with it.
To know it's that easy.
And the person, the customer who was asking about it, was like, how come like there was no security? He's like, well, security was actually dealing with a homeless person in the bathroom, and we only have one security guard on staff, and the staff isn't allowed to actually do anything.
No.
He goes, if I even moved in the guy's direction, it's like I would have been
You get in
fired.
trouble, yeah.
And then there was also a time...
They're not trained to properly handle those situations, and they can injure themselves.
Yeah. There was also a time, I know Bartell Drugs, which has recently been purchased by Rite Aid, but it was this like 100-year-old company based in Seattle. It's a drugstore just like Duane Reade if you're in New York.
Yeah.
There's a Five Guys right next to where there's a Bartell Drugs here in Ballard.
Yep.
And I remember I was walking into Five Guys, and the two employees from Five Guys ran out into like this little courtyard area. And it's because there was a guy who was clearly on some sort of crazy drugs screaming and throwing things at the Bartell Drugs employees. And the employee that was working at Bartell Drugs must have been 75 years old and like this tall.
Is it a guy or girl?
It's an older woman.
Yeah, I know.
And it's just stuff in retail can get really dangerous.
Yeah.
And it's like this weird balance of we're not trying to criminalize homeless people, but you also have to protect people who are just trying to make a living too. So
Julie said I was sandwiched between two guys shoplifting at the shoe store on Sunday.
did you ask him for something? Because at that point, I mean, if they're stealing anyway, may as well steal something for you.
I went to high school with someone who would go to the shoe store, ask to try on a pair of shoes, and like when the person would walk away, they would put their old shoes in the box and leave and walk out with
Oh, they
them.
just walk out with the shoes? I mean, it seems like a smart move. Shady.
I wasn't around
That
when
was
it
Carla
happened.
Marie.
I just heard it happen.
It was Carla Marie. It was you, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Let's see.
Julie said I was leaving. The first guy went out first, and then when I was walking out, the other guy almost knocked me down running.
Oh, they like took off. They like jacked it and ran.
Hey, Adele said, oh, my sister used to do that. Walk out with new shoes. All right, no one start doing this.
I mean, that sounds like a great system. And the interesting thing is, I don't feel like, listen, if you're stealing from a Foot Locker or whatever, we all know that those big companies have a budget built in for theft and loss, right? They have like loss management teams that figure all of that out. And that's not what I feel bad for. I don't feel bad for Best Buy or Apple. So I actually, when I was overhearing the Best Buy employee talk about the stolen iPad, it's like, it's not even ours. It's like, that's a demo that Apple sends, and Apple owns that area. So when you go into a Best Buy, that showroom part is all owned by Apple, not Best Buy.
I did know that.
So I don't feel bad for Apple. They're a billion-dollar company. But I do feel bad for the employees that are on those front lines who have to deal with that. Yeah.
When I worked at Drug Fair, which I don't even know if that's a drug store anymore, but I worked at Drug Fair in North Arlington, New Jersey, which is now a Dollar General. And I was like 16. People would steal stuff all the time. Like, all the time. They would just beep, and if they didn't come back in to be like, why is my bag thing like beeping, they would just steal something.
They
like,
just walk
we knew
right
what
out,
happened.
right? Yeah.
But my boss, like, if they stole over a certain amount, obviously, like, then they could be like, you need to come in here. I'm like, why would you even stop? Like, why would you come back into the office?
Yeah.
And I think there was like one time cops were called, and the number one stolen thing was a Breva.
What is a Breva?
Like the herpes medication.
I mean, because it's embarrassing to buy.
It's so expensive, and it's like this big.
Okay.
So it's easy to pop out of the box, and they would just like put it in their pocket. But none of them realized that I would be tagging the bottle, not the box and I was shelving it, we would.
Oh,
do
and it
that.
still beeps?
Yeah. No, because you put the little security tag on the actual bottle or like the tube, not on the box. So if they pop it out, they don't realize that it's on there and they just put it in their pocket. They're still beeping on the way out.
Lee in Tacoma said, most retail employees aren't supposed to go after thieves. We had a late night robbery at Nordstrom years ago,
What?
and they literally threw my friend into a shoe display as they ran out with handbags. And those are the people who I feel bad for. Again, I don't feel like Nordstrom has enough money to cover that theft.
Yeah.
And it's built into their expenses. I feel bad for the employees who are there not making the millions and billions of dollars that Nordstrom and Best Buy and Apple and all of those companies are, and have to actually deal with it on like the front lines. Oh, let's see. Mergen 1990 says, my mom is a loss prevention manager for Saks Fifth. She's seen and been part of some crazy things to stop shoplifters. So when you're part of a prevention management team, or you're trying to actually stop people from walking out of your store.
Not like, I don't think it's like in that moment. It's like, how do we prevent this from happening? Not like, quick, run down aisle 6 and tackle him. I don't think it's like that.
Let's see. Claire and Olympia said some Targets no longer sell Pokemon cards because they kept getting stolen. I can see that. I know that at the Fred Meyer here in Ballard, they have them in a big ass vending machine that looks like it's impossible to break.
Yeah. It's stupid. That's ridiculous. But people
it's always empty too.
People aren't stealing them to add to their collection. They're stealing them to sell them.
Yeah, of course.
There was a message that I just wanted to read and it disappeared. Hey, it's Ali said, Abriva is exactly what a friend of mine got busted for shoplifting at Pathmark. She was 15 and couldn't afford it.
Oh, wait. Kelsey said that she actually tackles people. Wait, where are we?
Wait, what? Wait, your mom tackles people?
Saks actually does stop people. I guess because they got like really expensive stuff at Saks.
Hold on, your mom tackles people? That's badass.
Yeah, baby formula. I know there are a lot of things like when you realize diapers. I know razors, because they're usually really small boxes of like the cartridges of razors, and they're pretty expensive. So those are usually locked up at most department stores.
Yeah. But the
drugstores,
baby diapers and formula aren't stolen because people are reselling it. It's stolen because people cannot afford that for their babies.
I think you could resell anything.
Yes, but that is like an actual known fact.
Gotcha.
That formula and baby diapers are often stolen because people can't afford them, which is...
Yeah, and that's what Allison said here. Baby formula makes me sad, though, because those people are just trying to feed their family.
Kelsey and Morgan said their mom knows how to run in heels. She's the one tackling people at Saks. Or Lenny said Saks people.
And then Danny from South... What?
The joke.
What?
You didn't even hear what I said.
Sax people? Like saxophonists? What are you talking about? What?
Saks Fifth Avenue? Sax people. Like...
Oh, sax people. I thought you were talking, they're like sax people. Like they play the sax.
Yeah, like every time someone steals something, there's someone at the door playing a song for them.
That'd be awesome. I would steal every time I walked in. Let's see. There was something from Danny in Florida.
That was incredible.
People pull out knives and guns in South Florida. If someone wants to steal, enjoy. Yeah. And that's the thing. I think most employees, if it's your store, it's different. Like if your friend... Shandon in West Seattle.
Yeah.
She has a store and I'm sure she's had things stolen. That's actually stealing from her pocket. It's not a big department store. But if I worked at Best Buy or Target or whatever and someone was stealing something, hey man.
No, I'm
not fighting for you.
Shandon has sent me a video of 3 teenagers robbing her while she's in the store.
Yeah, it's kind of scary.
Yeah. And it wasn't like they were like holding her at gunpoint. Like these fuckers knew exactly what they were doing and they had it like all figured out.
What do they do?
And then they like panic because someone comes out of the back and you see them like their plan gets all messed up. And one of them starts asking her questions and asking her to show them around. Another one looks at the cameras and kind of tries to stand in front of a camera.
Like blocking the camera? Mm-hmm. How tall was this guy?
Well,
isn't the camera in the ceiling?
There's one on a shelf.
Oh, okay.
But she's changed everything.
Well, that seems like a bad place for a camera.
No, there's 2.
Okay.
And don't try to rob her anymore.
Has my dad's store been robbed? So one of the jewelry stores that my dad owned, he's owned different ones throughout his life, was...
Is this the crazy one? The crazy robbery?
I don't know what you're talking about. Oh, there was one where my dad used to have a retail store in Ridgewood, which then he and my aunt transformed into a restaurant. When it was a jewelry store, there was someone who stole a tennis bracelet. They were basically, they asked to see a bunch of them. And then when the employee, I think it was my aunt who was working there, when she turned around to grab something, they took one of the tennis bracelets. But when there's like 7 of them on the table, you don't realize when one of them is gone. And then they walked out pretty quickly. And then 5 minutes later, as my aunt was putting everything away, she realized one of the displays was empty.
Okay, a tennis bracelet starts at...
that was probably like $8,000 to $12,000. Yeah.
No, but the crazy one, because my dad talks about this because he remembers it happening.
So there was, I think this might be the one you're talking about, when my dad was at the Jewelry Center, which is on Route 4 in Paramus, New Jersey. If you've ever seen a commercial for a jewelry exchange or something like that, it's very similar, where it's a bunch of different retailers all under one roof. It was snowing at one point, and the robbers took a really big pickup truck that had a snow plow on the front, bashed it into the wall, basically
like
drove through
glass.
the wall, drove through the booth, wrapped the safe, because one of the store owners had his own safe. Normally there's a big one in the back. He had his own one in his booth. They wrapped it with chains and dragged it out of the store.
Like a Marvel movie.
Yeah. It's kind of crazy. And then they threw it in the back of the truck and took off with it. And that was like hundreds of thousands of dollars in there.
Do you have insurance for
I wonder
that?
how long it took to open the safe. Because you still have to open it once you steal the safe.
If you're robbing places like that, you got one of those like fire things where you're like...
So yeah, that was not my dad's specific booth. My dad put most of his merchandise when he was there in the big safe. And that safe it was like the size of this room.
Yeah, did those dudes ever get caught?
I have no idea.
Or females?
I don't
Could
know.
have been Ocean's
8?
I was like, wait, which one was that?
But yeah, my dad has the same kind of theory now. It's like, yeah, it would suck if he got robbed, but he has security, he has cops that come by all the time. But if it got down to that,
yeah, try to rob
see you
them.
later.
The whole store is tripped. So if you take something, you're gonna blow up.
Well, then it would blow up my dad.
No, just that person. It's a special, Avengers one. I've seen way too many hero movies.
But and I think that's a risk that you always understand if you're in the jewelry business. If you ever go to 47th Street in New York City, that's where the jewelry district is. The security that they have on that street is insane. If you've ever seen, what was the movie with Adam Sandler where he's a jeweler?
Jeweled?
Uncut Gems. Jeweled?
Bejeweled.
Bejeweled? That's not it. Uncut Gems. There's a scene in the very beginning. I haven't watched the whole movie because it's super long. But there's a scene in the beginning that actually like perfectly exemplifies what it's like walking into some of those jewelry dealers in New York. Because I used to do that growing up for my dad. And you go in through one door. You've got a buzz to get into that one. Buzz to get into the second door when you look up at a little camera and tell it what you're there for.
I would not like this.
Yeah. It seemed like it was a decent movie to start. The one problem I had with that movie is I felt like the audio was off. Like all of the music that's supposed to play under some of the scenes was way too loud. Oh, if that makes any sense.
Well, it does make sense to me because that is the one thing that we don't ever see eye to eye on when we're producing things, the two of us.
Yeah.
Because any sound in the background of something, I'm like, I can't focus. It's distracting me. Like,
but this was super loud.
But then I would hate that movie.
Yeah, you might.
I could not watch it if that was the case. Like anything you notice, if I put out a video on my social media and there's music, you probably won't even hear the music because it's got to be a part of ADD or something because I cannot focus. We used to be on the air and we would always have to play a music bed under every time we spoke. And this would be my sign to lower the bed or like do that. And then I would just like, I can't go any lower. So yeah.
Coconut Love 75 says, highly recommend it for Uncut Gems.
Well, if the music's too loud, I'm out.
Yeah, and Kelsey and Mergen know. So the buildings that I'm talking about, they're usually like not on the ground floor. You've got to go to like the second floor or the third floor.
So that you can't drive a pickup truck through it?
I don't know. Normally your distributors are on those floors. Your first floor is like actual retailers.
Robbie and Everett said, when I worked at a jewelry store, I had a diamond pendant ripped off of my hands and they ran out.
That's crazy. And then I saw someone wearing, let's see, Madison, NC94 said, checking in before my flight from New Jersey, wearing my You Look Great shirt.
Post a pic. Did anyone say you look great? TSA, they love those shirts more than anyone.
Yeah, TSA agents and flight attendants. But your mom and dad used to work at the money holding center, right? At the casino. Did they ever have anything crazy?
My parents never worked at a casino.
Not a casino, the racetrack. Well, now can't you gamble there now?
The money holding center is also
That's what it is.
So my mom worked actually what was called the money room at.
Oh, I was so far off. The money room. The money holding center actually sounds more formal than the money room.
At Meadowlands Racetrack. She was only there for a few months when they had the sports betting, but it was only horse racing for their entire 35 years there. And my mom, they had a security guard right outside of their room, and you couldn't get into the room unless the security guard would buzz you in.
So no one tried to barge in and steal a bunch of money?
No, then you also had to get into the back. There was several almost the same idea, but definitely not as strict. You had to get into the back area where all the offices were, and then you had to get past the security guard.
What about employees stealing?
Oh, it used to happen all the time.
Really? So your mom stole from the money room?
No, not her. And I was like, it's got to be so tough because when I was a kid, I held $100,000.
That's crazy.
Cash. I went in there, and now looking back, I'm like, there was probably so much money in that room, and I had no idea.
You know, it's funny. I said that it's crazy that you held $100,000 like a stack, which is crazy. I mean, holding $100,000 in your hand is nuts. But there were probably times where I was walking with jewelry and diamonds for my dad in the district with probably an equivalent amount of diamonds on me.
No, thank you.
But just crazy how both of our lives were very different.
Yeah. So we would go there on Halloween and go trick-or-treating, and everyone would give us money. Side note, had nothing to do with the story, but I used to love going to work. I used to go to work with them all the time, but my mom's job was basically what a bank teller does, but she would have to count and make sure everyone's, I think it's their drawer or their bag or whatever it's called, was even at the end of the night. Like you do if you work at
any register thing,
yeah. But she would have to give them, all right, this is how much I gave you, this is how many ones, fives, whatever, and pass that along. But she said people would come in over or under, and if it was a few bucks, that was fine. But if it was a certain amount, they would have to recount it, try to find it. And then if not, they would get written up.
But wouldn't that be the move then to every couple days you're $1 or $2 short, right? Enough where they're not going to do anything. And then by the end of your career, if you work there for 30 years,
you're rich.
You've made a decent amount of money.
But also, I remember there would be times where she would call and she's like, I'm going to be home late. There's a decent amount of money that we can't find.
And then what happens?
Well, just basically, it doesn't mean there's money hiding under a chair or anything. It's just they didn't count it right. Mm-hmm. And they have to go back through everyone's stuff that day, her and her coworkers, and basically recount all of it.
Oh, okay, got it.
That's what it means, when you can't find it. But
we're gonna keep the theft theme going. That is, say theft
theme going.
Yeah,
bam, with braces. We do have a You Look Great.
A bank robber?
A bank robber backpack, which is great if you're robbing the bank.
Or the money center room, money control room.
The money holding center.
The money holding center. So there are a couple things. A lot of people saying that they get a great reaction when they wear their You Look Great shirts.
Oh.
And I totally forgot that I messed this up yesterday. It said merch available for a limited time on the screen yesterday with the exclamation point merch thing. Yeah. That link wasn't working yesterday. So today, if you put in exclamation point merch in the chat, you should get a link that responds with our little chat bot. People saying they took it trick-or-treating, got a great response. A lot of people do travel with the You Look Great shirt, which is awesome. Because
everyone's miserable when you're traveling for some reason, so it's nice to brighten their day.
Yeah.
We did get a message it was Chris, who said that he wore it to a haunted house on Sunday night, and he said he got about 12 different people who said, oh my God, I love your shirt, or you look great, or something. So I feel like that's the person who got the most so far.
12 in a row or something? That is a lot. It should work. Let's see.
I was surprised at how many people didn't say it in Disney World. Well, I don't think it'll send another link if a link has just been put, even though I put that in there.
Yeah, but you put that one. It should be working. Let me
what
check
the hell,
out.
Wendy? I'm wearing mine when I go have lung surgery on Thursday.
Yeah, I think Wendy messaged us. She wore it to another doctor's appointment recently.
Oh my God, keep us in the loop.
Let's see. Hold on. Chat commands. I'm going to do this right now, and I have another theft thing I got to talk about.
All the things being robbed. Wendy.
Yeah.
Well,
merch.
good
It's right
luck.
there.
I swear, I'm telling you, I don't think it works if someone else.
Exclamation point, merch. Supposed to work. Bastards.
Wait, Amanda said I keep looking at the pink hoodie. I need to get that one too. I already got the black one. There is no pink hoodie. Oh, do you mean zip up?
The zip up, probably. Yeah, Wendy, when is the...
Thursday.
Thursday. Woo! Is it before or after
It
our
worked.
show?
I just did
Oh, it did work. Okay. Before or after our show? Are we going to know, like, the outcome of it? Before or after?
Well, she's on the East Coast, so maybe.
Let's see.
Make sure they take good care of your shirt. Because I'm assuming they have to take it off.
Yeah, I don't think they just cut straight through it.
Although, have you ever had a shirt cut open by a medical professional?
No.
I have.
Why?
When I was 7, I broke my arm, and I wore my favorite shirt to school because it was a Friday, and we had to go, and they had to cut open my favorite shirt.
They couldn't just have you take it off?
No!
Why?
I broke my arm. Are you kidding?
Grow up.
You can't move it.
8:30 East Coast, so
I was
before we
7.
are on. Yeah, you're 7. Your bones are like rubber at that point. How do you even break something at 7 years old?
It was free.
No, the other retail theft thing
Okay.
that I want to talk about. If you've ever worked as a part-time employee in a retail store and been blamed for stealing something, because this happened. I worked at a place called High Country Sports in Livingston, New Jersey when I was in college. And I was only there for like 6 months. I basically worked there for the snowboard season because I wanted to get cheap stuff and leave.
Smart, man.
And we were doing inventory one night because the store would close around 9 and we would like clean things up until 10:30-ish. And I guess a new shipment came in of like all these electronic, they're like basically like headphone inserts for your helmet.
And what year was this?
This was 2006.
Wow, we had headphone inserts for.
Yeah. We had audio back then.
It's crazy.
Yeah, you had to take a big Edison sound machine and stick it onto your helmet with your wooden
Was that
skis.
no? But for real, was that to plug into your MP3 player?
Yes, for your iPod or your MP3 player. But basically, I guess what happened was at some point, one of those accessories went missing.
Okay.
Right? So the owner of the store and his brother, they were both there, and they wouldn't let anyone leave until someone returned it.
That seems excessive.
And we were there for an extra like 2 hours, and it got to a point where I looked, I think the guy's name was Andy. And I was like, hey man, you can literally check I will give you permission. Go through my backpack, you can pat me down.
Which I don't think they're even allowed to do.
I was like, but I need to get out of here at some point. He's like, no one's leaving until, and I don't think he ever found it.
So then you left, clearly.
Well, we all left. So someone stole it. I didn't. And I remember telling him like, hey, do you want to once he relented and let us leave, I said something along the lines of, well, do you want to check my bag before I go? He's like, that's not funny, Anthony. It's like, I'm not trying to be funny. Do you want to just take a look at it?
Is this place still open?
High Country Sports? Probably. Yeah.
How rude.
And I get it. It was his business. He didn't want to lose money. He felt like he was probably offended that someone stole from him.
That's crazy town, though.
But it also could have just been like, I don't know. It could have gotten misplaced. It could have been wrong on the invoice from the company that he ordered it from. I don't know.
Yeah. That's crazy.
But we were just stuck there.
Yeah, you can't, that's not legal. Mama Sarah's right. You can't, they basically took you hostage.
Basically.
I feel like teachers used to do that too. No one's leaving until I find out who did blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
Well, that did happen in high school to me once.
What happened?
My class.
Well, what'd you get held up for?
Well, not held up. But, yeah,
timing wise, you were held up.
Because someone brought in a fart machine and they put it in front, so in high school, there would be this little nook that folder holder that attached to the wall where I think teachers would put their attendance and someone come around. So someone put the fart machine in there so you didn't know whose it was. And someone had a remote. And she was losing her mind, couldn't figure out where it was. And she was like, no one's leaving until I find out.
So it was on the outside of the door?
It was on the inside, but in the front of the classroom. But she couldn't tell where she was older.
That is really funny.
I think she's passed away.
What is this from Nicole in Southwest Florida, Carla Marie?
A girl was stealing from a retail job, and they thought I was in on it, too, because we worked the same shifts, and security footage showed us talking right before money went missing. Luckily, it also happened on a shift I wasn't working, and I was cleared.
I do hope that if someone I know steals a bunch of stuff and I'm nice enough to them where they can give me some of it.
I don't want any of that.
No, I think if it was like a big robbery, like if someone, I don't know, embezzled like millions of dollars from Samsung or Apple, and now
No,
they're
I
like,
don't want that.
yeah, just give me some of it. You don't. How much money do you really need? Give me a little bit of it. Do something nice with your money.
Dana on Long Island. This is, oh my God, this just sent me so far back. She
Okay.
said, I love when teachers say, the bell doesn't dismiss you, I dismiss
Yeah.
you. No, that's the whole point of the bell, lady.
Let's see. Denny from Florida said we do bag checks when leaving the store.
Where'd they work, I guess?
Where do you work? I feel like you told us earlier in the chat. So we're just going to talk about stealing all day. Also, you've got about, what, 15 minutes until...
Yeah, but we got to go before the 15-minute mark.
What is this?
Teachers would do that too. No talking.
Explain to everyone who may have just joined us recently what you're doing right around 9 o'clock.
So Growth Week Live is happening all week long. It is a free virtual conference geared towards small business owners, but you'll definitely learn a lot by watching almost any of these sessions. There's video related ones, email marketing related, everything. There's 45 speakers. I am one of them, and my session is about Twitch and why small businesses should be on Twitch and what you can do using Twitch as a small business. So I'll be doing a Q&A afterwards, and they asked me if Anthony would join me live.
I guess so.
So
It's going to be this view, right? Because I'm wearing blue shorts and blue shirt.
yeah, it's
Because
this
the
view.
shirt I'm going to take off to go to the gym later, the shorts I'm keeping on, and I look like a Smurf right now.
Yeah, it's this view,
Okay.
and yeah, you're gonna be.
Do you want your shirt to match the lights?
It is matching the lights.
I know. Do we want to change that, or is it allowed to match?
It's lots of match.
Okay. So I'm not on the whole time, though.
I'm screwed today. No.
Oh, what gym do I go to? I'm glad someone asked. LA Fitness in Ballard.
Okay, wait. I'm gonna put this link in here. Don't go there yet because you're here. Oh, see, why did it do? This is what I'm telling you. Go
What?
up. I put a YouTube link in there, and look what it did. The chat. If you're watching on YouTube, I apologize. I put a link in there, and immediately our thing was like, "Oh, someone said YouTube here."
I don't know. They're on a timer, so maybe it just worked out perfectly.
I have a dilemma.
What?
I don't know if anyone can relate to this exactly, but I'm sure people can. So I have to hit. Here's my whole dilemma. I am a few classes away from this berries challenge that I signed up for, but I think it's 4 classes, which means I have to do 4 classes in like the next 5 days, right?
Okay.
I have 98 berries classes done. So I'm also going to hit my 100th class in there, in those 4, right? So my next 2 classes. Here's my issue. I haven't worked out like a week. I am slacking. I wanted my 100th class to be like, I'm hitting a 12 on the treadmill. I'm putting up like 25s, 30s. Ain't happening. I did a workout this morning in this room using 15s. I thought I was going to die because I've slacked off. I drank. I ate mom's spaghetti. All the things this weekend. Chinese food. I'm a mess. So I was like, maybe if I work out a bunch before I hit my 100th class, I'll be good, which would work. But then I'm not going to win this challenge.
I think you just got to go for it. Just go for it and go strong.
I'm scared I'm going to throw up.
If you throw up, you throw up. There was a question from, I think it was
Eats and tweets.
Tish123. What?
That's Dre. She works at Perry's.
Oh, yeah, vomit on your sweater. Mom's Spaghetti.
Oh, yeah.
You could do that. Tish123 said, wait, why did Anthony go to Mom's Spaghetti? I was just watching yesterday's stream. So I didn't go to Mom's Spaghetti because I do have an aunt and uncle who live right outside Detroit. And the wedding was in Detroit, obviously. That's why we're talking about Mom's Spaghetti, which is Eminem's spaghetti restaurant.
Yes.
So I went to go visit my uncle who had just had heart surgery. He was still in the hospital, so I went and hung out there for a little bit. And here's the craziest thing.
Like, disclaimer, it's not that I was like, I'm going to Mom's Spaghetti. I'm not going to meet your family.
No. There was only one guest allowed in the hospital at a time.
I was like, can you please tell your family?
And
like,
this is
hi.
one of the few uncles that Carla Marie has not met yet either, so that's in a real weird place.
Hi. Nice to meet you.
And then, but here's the craziest thing. So my uncle needed a heart valve change. Okay. Mm-hmm. And I guess there's like a newer procedure for a heart valve change where they don't have to actually like saw your chest open.
Oh, wow.
And do that. They'll do it all through a catheter basically. And the doctor who pioneered the new technique is based in Michigan.
That's cool.
At the hospital that my uncle is at. So my uncle's like one of the first people to have this surgery. And I guess it dramatically reduces the recovery time.
That's what Nate had. I don't know how his went in.
I don't know. I think I think Nate might have a scar. But
laparoscopically is the word. Laparoscopically. Say that again.
Nope. I'm not saying it.
That's it. Like if I have to get my ovary removed for my cyst, that's how they do it.
Oh, Tish thought that I was skipping Mom's Spaghetti to go get my Detroit-style pizza. No, that I just skipped out on all my friends and went and had Detroit-style pizza by myself.
Yeah, he did.
Which was a great experience, honestly.
So the all-around consensus is that I should go to Barry's and vomit.
Yeah.
On the treadmill.
Just do it. Sometimes you just got to push through and you'll surprise yourself. I don't think you're going to vomit.
And I want my 100th class. It might be my last. I might not go back to be with Evan because I love his classes and they're so fun.
Is Eats and Sweets going to be there?
I hope so. So if I take class today, I currently am signed up for the 7:30 a.m. tomorrow morning, which means that would be my 100th class.
Tomorrow morning? Yeah, I'm not going to be there.
No, you promised me you would come to my
100th. 7:30 is real early.
That's when Evan teaches.
Hey, you should teach later. Is there an 8:30?
She said you're not going to vomit. Watch me.
Is there an 8:30? It has to be 7:30.
But he doesn't teach that one.
Oh man, I don't know about that.
I know. I do tell myself that all the time. Eats and Sweets said you could do hard things for 30 seconds. That's most of like the sprints are 30 seconds max. I'm like, it's 30 seconds. You can do it. And then I'm doing that like 15 times in a round.
Oh, I count down in my head.
Yeah.
And I'm staring at that little clock. The little timer on the treadmill.
I don't think Eats and Sweets has ever taken a class when I've been there. So she might have to take my 100.
She doesn't work that stupid early time, 7:30.
She does work early time. Actually, I am so glad you're in here. I have been meaning to tell this story for 2 weeks of the dumb blonde thing that I did at Barry's. And I meant to go up to Eats and Sweets afterwards. Her name is Dre. And I was like, it hit me in class what happened. So I went to Barry's and I didn't have a paper mask because those are so much easier to work out. And I only had a cloth mask. And I went up to the desk. I was like, hey, do you guys have a mask here? And Dre says, yeah, we have black or blue. And I go, ooh, what's the blue one? And I'm like looking over the desk and she like looks at me and hands me the black one. And I'm like, that's weird. And I'm like running on the treadmill in the middle of class. And I was like, you idiot. The blue was just a medical mask. Like it didn't click to me when she said, do you want black or blue? I thought the blue was like some cool new mask that I didn't know existed.
I'm still confused. So was there a blue mask?
Yeah, but in my mind, I was like, oh, what does the blue mask look like? Not realizing that we just lived a year and a half with these ugly ass.
Oh, like the regular ones.
Yeah.
Okay.
And I'm like, oh, what's the blue one? And she looked at me like, here. And it was when I was on the treadmill, I was like, you fucking idiot. You just had that, like, it was such a blonde moment. Thank you. And I've been meaning, I didn't tell Anthony the story. Because I was like, wait, I need to talk about it on the stream. And it was one of those moments where everyone always talks about, you know, when you're realizing all of the awkward, embarrassing things you did that day and you can't sleep. It was that moment. Because I was like, oh, what is the blue one?
There was, what is it? Lisa said, I feel like every time we talk fitness, it's always bar blend booty day.
That's a good one.
I don't think I've ever done that. I think I want to do some bar classes.
We'll go.
And that's when you get up on your toes and you're like,
yeah, then you use the 3-pound weights and your arms feel like they're going to fall off.
Yeah, those workouts are actually unbelievably hard.
So I was thinking between now and the next wedding that we have to go to, I'm going to do Barry's and Pure Barre interchangeably so I can get my strength and my toning.
Are you a marionette? Also, I know I saw Nicole in Southwest Florida. Is Fort Myers considered Southwest Florida?
I don't know where anything in Florida is. Like, I just know Orlando's in the middle.
I think.
And Key West isn't on it. It's on the side.
Okay, so it is. So I've never really explored Southwest Florida. The only time I've been on the west side of Florida was a church convention I went to in Clearwater, which is, I think, right by Tampa, if I'm not mistaken.
Why are you saying that?
Well, because I'm going to Southwest Florida right before Thanksgiving. I'm going to be there to watch Seton Hall play some basketball on the Monday and Wednesday before Thanksgiving. Still have to get those tickets, but booked all my travel. And I need suggestions on things to do, places to hang out.
Okay.
Because I've never been to that area at all. And Tuesday will be a total off day. We're still going to be doing the stream. So Monday and Tuesday that week we'll still have the stream. Thursday we're not doing one on Thanksgiving.
Why did you say Tuesday will be an off day?
Because Tuesdays I don't have anything else planned outside of the stream.
Oh.
Because Seton Hall only plays on Monday and Wednesday in this basketball tournament. So I want to know what cool places I need to check out.
All right, cool.
So if you're in the Southwest Florida area, shoot me a message at Worst Anthony on Instagram.
Is Tampa near Fort Myers?
I don't know.
No, it's not. Because you asked Rachel, our friend Rachel from Sandals.
And it's like 2 hours away or something. So I'll be specifically in Fort Myers at whatever basketball facility people play at. I don't know.
I hope Seton Hall loses all of the games.
Well, it is going to be very difficult. We play Ohio State in our first game.
Go Buckeyes!
And then if we beat, or depending on what happens with that Ohio State game, we'll play either Florida or Cal. So we're playing like all really, really good.
Cal Bears?
Golden Bears, yeah. No, wait. Yes.
OHIO.
Yeah, Fred and I are not going to be fans.
I am going to be the biggest Buckeyes fan.
Well, that was like me when... See, but it's different for you because you're going to play Ohio State twice this year.
In basketball?
As a Rutgers alum. So you being an Ohio State fan, I mean, it's a little dirty.
Okay, so quickly we're going to brush upon this.
Yeah.
We're in Michigan this weekend, and it happens to be Michigan State playing this weekend while we're in Michigan, which was pretty cool. So we're at a bar watching the game. It was actually really fun to be at a bar where you're in the city, the two schools are rival, and you've got no skin in the game. Like, it was very nice to watch. But
And like that's the rivalry game in the state of Michigan.
The bride went to Michigan State, so everyone had on Michigan State gear. Like, the bride and the groom got a bunch of stuff. I refused to wear it because I don't go to that school. So anyway, all of Anthony's friends, you weren't, but all of his friends were wearing, these big Seton Hall fans were wearing all green.
Yeah.
And I'm like, this is funny. So,
But it was also Halloween.
oh, yeah.
So
I said to Nicole, one of your friends, I was like, hey, doesn't Michigan State play Seton Hall? She's like, yeah, they have. That's why I'm really confused by all of these posers. So I started taking video, and I took a picture of your friend Steve, and I was like, Steve, let me see your shirt. And he like posed, and I was like, I can't wait to Photoshop basketball in this shirt this season because all of you guys think you're all tough today and cool, but really, I cannot wait.
Now, I didn't wear a Michigan State shirt mainly because my family in Michigan are Michigan supporters. My cousin Paul went there, his undergrad and his master's from Michigan. So that's why we're all Michigan fans. We're all Wolverines. But the difference with a bunch of Seton Hall fans wearing a Michigan State shirt is we don't play them very often. We played them 2 years ago, and the game kind of doesn't matter.
Okay, I got to go.
Okay, we were out of here.
Claire just dropped the link. Thank you, Claire. See you guys on the flip side.
Peace
Bye.
out.